blockchain and the applications that are built on top are going to be eventually responsible for trustless civilizations, right? What I mean by that is basically the eradication of corruption, collusion, and abuse, right? Our institutions globally are blood soaked, right? There's so much corruption and collusion and abuse of people globally, of billions of people. And I think that blockchain is a solution. And so I know that every single day I'm going to wake up and, even though I can't code in Solidity or Rust, what I can do is I can run a Mafia guild, right? And hopefully what I can do there is inspire people to join and, build an application on top of, a metaverse that, hopefully that inspires people to take the leap, right? People to come into the blockchain realm and help it become, more robust, because that's what it takes, right? The widespread blockchain adoption is how we're going to take down these institutions, or at the very least cleanse them, right? Because they're gonna have to deal with us.
Right on, man. As Michael Wagner and Santi would say, power to the people.
Stick it to the man.
Stick it to the man. Hey there, it's me, the MetaVerse Explorer. If you're new here, I do Star Atlas videos, tutorials, commentary, and general updates for the Star Atlas metaverse. Full disclosure, I am a part of one of the leading DACs in Star Atlas, AFIA. You might have heard about us, AEP, though I don't think this should be a problem. I do this because I love it. Star Atlas has captivated me. I'm aiming to be a part-time Star Atlas streamer. If you want to support me, all you gotta do is click that button and ding that bell for me. Thanks for your support. Let's get to this episode. Hello, you guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming to listen to this interview with the Atlessio family. I'm the MetaVerse Explorer. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is going to be uploaded around a day or two later. We're currently on the Grape Discord with the Atlessio family, the Don Kane and Jack Stone. They are a decentralized autonomous corporation in Star Atlas, and I'm also part of another decentralized autonomous organization called AFIA in Star Atlas. So full disclosure. We're going to be having a conversation about Star Atlas, about the general metaverse, and about the Atlessio family as well. So we have a few people in the audience. There's 16 people listening at the moment. We're on the Grape Discord. So without further ado, let's really get into it. So the Don Kane, Jack Stone, thank you very much for coming from the Atlessio family.
You're very welcome. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, no problems, guys. It's really good to get this sort of conversations flowing sometimes in the metaverse. We're all on Twitter, we all tweet each other, we all DM, but we never actually take the time to talk to each other.
I think they're important for everyone to get together and hear people talk to each other.
Yeah. Okay, so the Don Kane. You are the Don, the Mafia king of Atlessio family. Can you tell us about the Atlessio family first? What's the DAC?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So initially, it started off as like a gaming guild, but the problem is with these metaverses is they're so much more than games. And when you think about how much capital is going to eventually flow through these, it's better to just consider them a highly gamified simulated digital universe. But the Atlessio family is our attempt to, kind of get in the space early and build something that we believe is going to be absolutely massive one day. So we have three main branches in the Atlessio family. The main one is the DAC, right? And this is basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be utilizing ships to kind of capture some of that high APR that is that the metaverse is going to be famous for, that people are going to use to earn. People are going to use to as a full-time job eventually.
We've all heard Michael Wagner talk very, very in depth about it. It's about changing the entire system and people being able to earn from like nowhere, that sort of stuff.
Exactly. Well, I mean, there's already people doing it with Axie, right? There's an entire like a very, very large community. I believe it's in the Philippines who are making. I saw a report. I think it was like they're making 3 to 4 times what the average salary is.
Yep.
And so I think it's going to revolutionize, especially third world countries, but also large countries like Australia and the United States as well. I think it's going to be a game changer for the entire world.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, and I would also like to add that I think some of the like Western countries, the people where they can spend an hour and go to a normal job and earn $16, they don't see the value of this really sometimes. But for someone in the third world country, this is amazing. They have this opportunity to do this. So I think Western countries sometimes don't really care about this as much. But hey, it's gonna come later, sooner or later. But please continue.
Yeah, absolutely, completely agree. So that's our main focus, right? That kind of gaming guild, even though it's like I touched on, much more than a gaming guild. The second focus, which we launched, I think it was 3 weeks ago, is the Atlessio Research Group. So that's kind of my background is in investment, investment research. I had worked at a few hedge funds, including one crypto hedge fund that was one of the top performing hedge funds in 2019 in the U.S.
Ew.
And so, I've got a big research background, and I just figured, I'm already gonna do research, so why don't I just format it in a nice way and give it to the community for free? That was kind of the idea, and it's actually funny too. One of our associates right now, soon to be made man Achilles, he's in the audience right now, and this research group has actually kind of almost become like a crypto incubator for them, right? Because there's a bunch of them that came in and they didn't have like a in-depth understanding of blockchain and NFTs and metaverse, and now they're teaching me things, right? So it's pretty funny. It's pretty cool to see how that's kind of turned out. And then we have the third branch, which is Atlessio Art. This is actually it's actually the main reason that I created the Atlessio family, was because I have this not a theory, but a assumption that as work becomes more gamified, right? As more people are transitioning into metaverse as their primary source of income, everything's going to be more gamified, right? And so a lot of these guilds are going to be they're going to have the infrastructure to employ people full time, right? And so my kind of take on it is we should gamify every single process of the guild, right? And so the idea behind it is we want it to make it seem like instead of you being a research engineer or a software or a programmer or whatever, you're a mob boss in the Atlessio family, right? You're literally the star of your own movie, your own TV show, whatever, right? Like it's gamified, right? It makes it's much more fun than research analyst, right? Would you rather be a mob boss or a research analyst? So.
I would rather be a mob boss. Definitely.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to take a moment to show everyone at home, if you're watching on YouTube. So this is the Atlessio website. It's atlas.io. And these are the three facets we've been talking about just now. The Atlessio family on the left, we can look at their white paper later. They've got the Research Guild, which was just talking about, and then the Atlas Art. Now we're going to talk about all three of these facets later on. But for now, I guess we can talk about the actual family and the metaverse. So I'm looking at your structure at the moment, and we've got you as the boss on the top. Can you talk to us about this structure we're looking at the moment?
Sure. So this is the legacy structure, right? I'm not always going to be the head of this organization. Eventually, we're going to be completely 100% decentralized, but we do have some concerns with the current DAO landscape, right? So what ends up happening is a successful DAC is going to end up looking like a true democracy, which is almost a misnomer. I think I was talking about this with Barndog when I came on for the AMA the other day. It's almost a misnomer because in a true democracy, one person can garner all of the governance tokens, and they can have 51% share, and now it's no longer a democracy, right? So we're kind of what we're doing right now is we are theorizing and trying to innovate how we structure this DAO, because we don't want the mission and the vision to be corrupted, right? I think that's we're gonna see a lot of DAOs I think we're going to see a lot of them fail, right? Because it's just such a brand new concept. But anyways, so more on the Atlessio family right now. It's funny. You could actually Google Mafia structuring, and you'll get 100 of those pictures. Where you got the boss and the conciliers, and then the capos, and then the soldiers and the associates. Right now, basically the way it's set up is 99% of the people that join the guild are going to be associates, right? And we're building the infrastructure so that even if you're an associate, you're going to be able to make more money using our infrastructure than you would be alone, right? And so it's going to be beneficial for everyone. However, the made men are going to be the top earners, right? Just kind of the way that we're going to go about it is we're going to do our research, right? We're pretty good at that, and we're going to essentially construct businesses in the metaverses, right? Like different kinds of businesses. And the made men is not going to be an easy position to get. You're going to have to prove value. I mean, just ask Jack. Jack's done a whole bunch of different things for me, and finally, actually, he was just made yesterday. He is now concilier of To the Dawn.
Oh, awesome! I was just about to ask you. I was like, where does Jack fit into it? Concilier, congratulations, man.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was. I've been in touch with Don for almost since the beginning of what it was, how it started. So we've been conversing back and forth constantly, different ideas, different insights, and different things about it. So it was quite an honor to be made, which is fantastic.
Right on, awesome, man. So I like you said, the associates will be earning as well, but of course the top men will be earning a bit better.
Absolutely.
So that's the family. Anything else you'd like to discuss about the actual structure or the Atlessio family in general before we move on to the research group?
Oh, I mean, I could go all day, but I think if anyone is truly interested, they should check out our website and read our white paper, because it delves in. I mean, I could sit here and talk for 5 hours about our white paper, right? But it delves in much deeper, kind of our structuring and how we're doing everything. And one last important thing I do need to mention is that we're not a crime syndicate, right? So our ethics, our ethics, especially on the real world part of the business, we have no intentions of doing anything illegal. We are completely legitimate. We're going to operate within the confines of jurisdictional prudence, and mainly the reason we chose Mafia was because of the lore, right? The lore is it's fun. Right, people love watching The Godfather and Mafia movies and TV shows and all that.
Yeah, it's a good reference point for people to get an idea of structure at least, or how you operate, that sort of stuff. But to clarify, you won't be doing anything illegal outside of the game. What about in the game? Piracy? Yes, no?
Probably not. Now, what I will say is we have so piracy probably not, and the reason why is because
the Mafia is usually good, isn't it? Like, Mafia is like a peacekeeper, and then if you come to the Mafia with trouble, the Mafia is going to come after you really hard.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of our focus, right? So we're not pirates, but you don't want to fuck with us. How about that?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we can talk about the this research group and the research section, the guild section, which is one of the reasons why I reached out to you guys, because this made the process of onboarding new people so much better for people who don't know, because joining a DAC, in my opinion, is like a better option for you instead of going solo, and this makes it so much easier for people to research all the other major DACs that we know of so far. So I'm going to link this down below. Can we talk about the process to build this whole website and this research section?
Sure, absolutely. So basically what happened was I think it was September, I had made a tweet that I had just finished reading. I randomly came across Star Atlas because of a Twitter account named Soul Big Brain. He had tweeted all about Solana gaming. And the top one was Star Atlas, and I was like hooked. I found out about it on a Monday morning and didn't stop reading until I went to sleep that Monday night. And so I read the white paper and the economics paper, and I realized that there is so much to this that if I really, really want to learn what's going on, I'm going to have to do a deep dive research. And like I said, I have the background in research, and as I'm conducting this research, I realize, this is something, I'm in the Discord, the Star Atlas Discord, and I'm realizing this is something that everybody is asking for, and it's research that I'm already doing. So I might as well go ahead and just release it for free. And it actually wasn't a guild website at first. The initial launch of it was a PDF document.
Yeah, that's right.
And it had
I saw it when it first came out. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I think it had 18 or 19 guilds, and now we've got I think it's closer to 24 or 25. And that was a huge hit. I think it got like 100,000 impressions in 24 hours. And
yeah,
our
I think
guild,
it was shared by I think either Wagner or Santi or something, and then it started taking off after that, and it was shared with all throughout the Discords, and everyone was going crazy, like, oh, look at all these people we didn't even know were here.
Exactly. Yeah, it was even in the main announcements on the Star Atlas Discord. I mean, we blew up. I had people all over the world reaching out to me, getting on phone calls. Like every single day I was just on a phone, and I mean I still am really having just all over the world. It's been really tough managing time zones. But I'm working around it, because I mean it's a global project, right? And
Yep.
you're gonna want to have a global team. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is like a global phenomenon in crypto. So, everyone around the world. And I'm having the same trouble as well. I'm sure Jack, as I was saying before, had 3 different times for this interview. So, yeah, it's pretty hard.
Time zones do my head in.
Yeah, I know. And especially when you factor in daylight savings and all this other crap. Like, oh my God. All right. So, if it's okay with you, let's talk about some of the guilds in Star Atlas. So, some of the DAX. I should be using the nomenclature which is accepted, the DAX in Star Atlas. Sure. So, as you guys might have known, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm part of the Aphia Guild. Some of our leaders are Funcracker and Prometheus. We're currently talking to the Atlessio Family Guild, and the mob boss is the Don Kane. There is another probably the biggest guild. A guild. I don't know if you could call them a guild or a DAC. So Interstellar Alliance. Can you guys give me a broad overview? Because you're part of the Interstellar Alliance. Is that correct?
So technically, we're not a part of the Interstellar Alliance, but we are a part of the UMO, the United MetaVerse
Accords
organizations. Yeah, and the way that Christian describes it is, the Interstellar Alliance is like the United States, where there's different guilds within, and they have their states laws and states' rights and all that. And then the governing body is the federal government, right? And then the UMO is more akin, although
nations.
Yeah, we're working on it, but it's more akin to the United Nations.
Awesome. Yep, I think that's a good analogy for people to kind of understand what's happening there. So, Interstellar Alliance, think of it as the United States with, California, New York, all of these other guys in there. What can you give us a brief overview of Interstellar Alliance? Because you guys will probably have more experience with them than I do, and for people listening as well.
Sure. Yeah. I've had many conversations with Christian. He's a very, very smart gentleman. The Interstellar Alliance is the first Star Atlas guild, Star Atlas DAC. And they're working on some really, really cool things. They're huge too. I think they have like 2,000-3,000 people in their Discord. They're pioneering with the Final Frontier, which is another one of my favorite guilds, or DACs. They're pioneering the infrastructure for the UMO, and we've been on two calls a week. We are on for the UMO, just trying to build the infrastructure, making sure that we're taking everything, because there's a lot to take into consideration. Right now, we're spending a lot of time on the legal framework and trying to figure out how we can best set that up so that we're not, because one of the biggest problems with the UMO is we're not nations, right? We are businesses, and so
corporations.
Nations, yeah, exactly. And nations are sovereign entities, right? And so in the UN. They get a little bit more freedom for what they can do. However, in the UMO, there's different laws around the world, right? So one big one that was brought up was child labor laws. Christian he lives in Iceland, where I think he was saying like 10-year-olds can work at the supermarket or something like that. Whereas in the US, that's not the case, right? And so we don't we're totally okay with the Interstellar Alliance following the laws of Iceland. But we cannot be implicated if we collaborate in some form or way, where we get, because we're under the jurisdictional prudence of the United States, and so we're spending a lot of time. We've got a bunch of lawyers that we're talking to, trying to structure this thing so that it can really be robust, and then eventually we're going to start talking about how we can make it. How we can innovate some things with DAOs and try and eliminate it ending up as corrupt as the actual UN and some of the actual governments around the world, which we're all concerned about, because the real world institutions, they're blood soaked, right? And that's one of the big main drivers for interest in the metaverse, right? Is that we can build and that's something we plan to do, is build solutions to some of these very corrupt institutions, right? We think blockchain is going to play a huge role in that, and we want to spend our time building that.
Dude, I'm totally worried about this as well, because where there's power, where there's influence, where there's decisions to be made, there's always someone or some corporation or like something extracting value from that process. So exactly. I think it's a good initiative you guys are doing. I don't think the AFIA industry is part of the UMO at the moment. Probably later. Don't know. We'll find out how it all goes. So Interstellar Alliance in itself is a guild of guilds. So they have all these other states below them. Who do you know who might be the biggest ones at all? I'm not too familiar, to be honest.
I think it might be NFT snipers, maybe. I don't know who the biggest one. Maybe it's Solians. That's a good question.
Yeah. So we're looking at your website here, and we've got all of them. Maybe we can go through the top to some of the to some of the bottom ones here. I know some of them. So that you've classified them as what category they're in, which faction they're in, how large they are, and also some of their leaders. So we have the first one here, which is AFIA Industries, and as you guys know, I'm part of AFIA. We do all factions, but let's not talk about AFIA for a minute. So the next thing is the Banana DAO and the Amana Group. So these guys, I think you did talk about the Banana DAO last time we had a conversation, and they're doing something unique. Do you mind describing that again for us?
Absolutely, yeah. Here's what I want to say first: is both the Banana DAO and the Amana Group. I've spoken to many people on their teams, and those are some very, very fantastic guilds. Some of the things they're working on are absolutely incredible. But I'll go ahead and discuss a little bit more about Banana DAO. Banana DAO is ran by JP. I don't remember his background, but I know he's the leader of Banana DAO, and he's got a few attorneys on his team, and they're building out some really interesting structure. And it's basically probably how we're going to structure ours too. They're doing a C corp, and I believe what's going to happen is they're going to have investors. Like, I don't know if it's going to be securitized or what's going to happen, but the idea is investors are going to place their capital in Banana DAO, and then Banana DAO is going to operate
as a corporation to give dividends or give as an actual company.
They're going to take the capital, buy ships, and then they'll operate those assets, right? Like they'll operate a Calico Guardian, so they'll refuel it and make repairs as needed and all that stuff, and then they'll give them in dividends some of the APR. Right.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that they're going for the kind of traditional finance in the structuring. They're saying appointed C-suite executives and board of directors, but then their name is Banana DAO and their mission statement is Ape Together Strong. So it's like the blending of serious businesses with meme culture, which I guess is a marketing strategy.
I love it personally, right? Because it's like we're almost doing a similar thing, right? We're not necessarily doing meme, but we're doing a real professional business on the back end, but we're highly gamified. We have a lot of lore coming out, right, about the the Mafia and all that. So.
Yeah, that's right. Like, you're repackaging the entire experience as something way more fun and way more engaging, rather than boring business in the back, party at the front, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly right.
So let's talk about some of the other major guilds in this document that you guys have awesomely done. So BSA, I know, is a giant community. They have their own thing going on. I don't interact with them. Do you guys know? Have you interacted with BSA often?
I've spoke to Daniel Duarte a little bit. Other than that, I haven't had much conversation. But I know they're huge. I think they have like 3,000. They had 3,000 in October, so I can't imagine. I don't even know how many people they have now, but yeah, like I said, I haven't had much contact with them, but I know they are massive, and I know there's a huge Brazilian community too.
Yeah.
When I look when I look at the Google Analytics for the website, I have a ton of Brazilians coming to the ARG Research website.
Yeah, and I think Michael Wagner also did mention this before. He says like the actual community is starting to grow a lot more, and because these are the sorts of people that the Star Atlas metaverse can benefit. You know, lower income, unfortunately, and they have an opportunity to earn more, and so people just flock to it when they see it. So, Jack, do you have one of these favorite guilds? Have you researched any of these to help us here?
To be honest, I kind of leave that stuff to the Don. I've got look. We converse over lots of different things, not only the art side of things, which I'm involved in, but just about Star Atlas, about the governance, about the tokens, about what's going where and who's doing what with what. But as far as the guild's research, when I got involved with Star Atlas, the Atlessio family, as I was scrolling through a bunch of guilds just on the Discord, because obviously there was no paper out at that time, and Atlessio family was the one that I looked at Interstellar Alliance, I looked at some of the other big ones, and I just thought they just didn't grab me. Atlessio was something that was just completely different. It wasn't like a massive World of Warcraft guild. It wasn't like a massive Star Wars guild or Star Trek guild. Something. It was just something completely different. It was this guild that was involved in a sci-fi game built around mobsters. And to me, that just like I'm involved. I'm in. You've got me. So it's. As far as the other guilds go, I didn't really look that far into it, because as soon as I started reading a lot of what was about them themselves, and they've improved like tenfold, 100-fold since when I first started looking at them now, and their infrastructure and the way they do things is massive now. But I just think there was too much seriousness perceived for me, where it wasn't fun. It looked like too much of a chore to be involved in those guilds, where the Atlessio was like, yeah, be a mobster, be a gangster. That's fun, but also earn some dollars. I mean, it was an easy decision.
And look at that right there. So I guess that whole kind of marketing business in the back, party at the front, kind of worked on Kane. You got a new member from this. That's awesome.
Indeed, a very, very brilliant member, might I add.
Hey. Compliments will get you everywhere, man. All right. So one of the other guilds, DAX, sorry. I keep saying guilds. I can't get it out of my mouth. It's traditional gaming sense,
I do the same thing. I do the same thing.
Yeah. So the club. The club. They are, I don't know. For me, I think that, yes, they have a lot of money. And yes, other DAX have a lot of money. But they come across as rich pricks, to be honest, to me. What do you guys feel about the club? Do you see them on Twitter?
Yeah, I see them on Twitter. What I will say is, I have spoken with Lloyd and have spoken with Vlad, and they do seem like very, very upstanding gentlemen, and they've always been very cordial, very nice in all of our conversations. But as the community has spoken recently, they've become a bit notorious for some of the things that they've done regarding the essentially front running of the commanderships that are supposed to be released in a few weeks.
Yeah, that's right. That's a giant conversation that I think we had also. What is it? A couple of days ago, two days ago.
Yeah, with Barn Dog, we spent about an hour and a half.
Yeah. This is a giant controversial issue, and it does warrant conversation. It does warrant discussion, DAO voting, and kind of, because we are in charge of this metaverse. We get to decide how things are supposed to be going.
I think in that situation, why that annoyed everybody was that it was totally against what everybody is building. Yeah. Everybody is building these DAOs, these DAX, these guilds, whatever you want to call them, and they're all about involving everybody. And this was just so much like a freaking a backroom deal that was done with rich people that it just rubbed everybody the wrong way.
Yeah, I think if it was to go to like a DAO vote, it would not have passed a DAO vote, and so absolutely that's not good enough.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so if it's okay with you guys, I don't want to dwell too much on this, because Star Atlas and the metaverse and us as a community is so much bigger than this backroom deal.
Indeed.
So let's talk about maybe the Final Frontier or Rome. These guys are also very public. I know I watch Rome's 2.5-hour videos sometimes on YouTube, and like great information, great sort of stuff. What do you guys think of the Final Frontier and Rome?
Yes, yes. I've been wanting to talk about the Final Frontier. Final Frontier is the inspiration for the Atlessio family. And the reason why is because when I was doing all of this research, when I was looking through each of the different guilds, um, I noticed like I said, guilds again. I noticed
It's hard, don't worry.
not an obsession, but like a degree of not professionality, but seriousness, right? Like a guild, a DAC that is taking this extremely seriously, right? And so when I go to research the Final Frontier, I talk to Ardo. He's very professional. And I go through their website and they have a white paper, and their white paper is like 40 pages long or something
Yeah,
like that.
saw
It's
it, yeah.
huge and it's massive, and it tells you everything you need to know about the Final Frontier. And when I read through that afterwards, my jaw is just on the ground because I'm so shocked at how much effort and energy and thought has been put in to the infrastructure of this guild, right? And when I read that, that was the eye opener for Star Atlas for me, right? That was the okay. This is what I'm doing full time, right? And just very 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 inspired by the Final Frontier and what they're doing.
Yeah, I think people sometimes underestimate the amount of effort and dedication that some of the community members put into
Yes.
this thing that we're trying to build. And for anyone watching
Right.
as well on YouTube, this is the Final Frontier website here. You can go to the Discord, Twitter, white paper, and economics paper. So this, I'm going to link this down below for you to click on as well if you want to find out about all these other decks. This is amazing stuff. I'm very happy to have found this this website itself. What about Rome? Rome, what do you think?
Rome is what I imagined the community of. I think Rome best embodies the idea of a decentralized community. They are not afraid to speak their mind, and when they see injustice, they're going to talk about it, and they're not going to stop talking about it. And I think there's something extremely admirable about that, right? And I think that they speak for a lot of us, right? Whenever they're bringing up issues like the club deal and other things, it's really interesting to hear what they have to say, and it seems like they've got a lot of very very smart individuals inside of Rome.
Yeah, they're pretty intense.
Yeah, I know. They're pretty intense. The 2 hour and a half videos. Oh man.
Yeah, I got through about 50 minutes of it.
Yeah, I know. I almost wish they could like do short summaries for us, like I do for the Star Atlas town halls, so that I can at least like digest the great information that they're trying to do. But I just don't have 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I think that 2.5 hours could have been just summed up with, what the fuck, end.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's. Any other guilds of importance or significance that you think are in? Oh well, Bodhi's here. Bodhi, do you want to come on stage and tell us about Tree at all, if you're interested? I'm going to invite you to stage. Feel free to accept if you want. Otherwise, we'll move on. You come on stage if you want. Oh, nice, he's here. Hey, Bodhi, what's up, man? Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Give me a second. All right, I'm in a better spot now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Great. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Yeah,
Great
good.
show.
Hey, mate.
Thanks for inviting me on stage. What's up?
What's up, man?
So, yeah, a little bit about Tree. We're taking some inspiration from communities in the past that have seemed to have some success around establishing a governance structure that works. And what I found worked best was systems where there were small groups. Sorry, I got to catch my breath. I had to run to a good spot where I have reception. But we have our governance structure is going to be one where you have members who come together into groups naturally, probably like communities from the same language or that are interested in the same thing in the game will come together and represent a leader. Those leaders will then go on to form small groups who will vote a representative, and then those representatives will go to form small groups again until the entire community is brought together, so that can scale. And then the only other thing besides that is leaders can't be paid for leading. So that's one thing that is a commitment that we're making early on that's going to be a lot different. So they have to kind of play by the same rules as everybody else. They have to make money the same way that everybody else does, and they'll determine what the rates are, which I imagine will be variable and fluctuating. Like what I found in Axie was it was pretty impractical to have a set rate between the players and the investors. So I imagine there'll be some sort of variable rate, but what I found, at least in my own experience, was when there's trust from like the scholars, for example, in Axie, that you actually intend on reinvesting that capital. Like when SLP went up, to I think it was like 30 cents or something, or it was over 20 cents. Then it was pretty impractical to be paying and holding those Axies. In fact, breeding up there, I actually took a huge loss by breeding when AXS was for a piece. So you have to be able to change the percentage, and there has to be trust between the players and the investors, and to be able to maintain that variable payout, or that percentage, right? So the leaders will determine those rates, but they have to act on the best behalf of everyone else in doing so, right? So that's about it.
Yeah, all good, man. I think it's super important to have like prior experience in these sorts of metaverse games where you actually have to understand the dynamics of how it works. So I guess your experience would be super invaluable. Like I haven't played Axie, I know about slightly how it works, but obviously when it comes to like accruing value and making like business decisions, you would have more experience. But for anyone that's watching as well, this is their Twitter on here. You can find their YouTube up here as well. And I totally get where it's coming from. It's like a tree, there's people go and form their own groups, go to their own branches, go to their own leaves kind of thing. So that's awesome structure. Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And just before you go, I just wanted to get your little advice or yes or no. And the Don Kane knows about this as well. I'm thinking of starting a kind of a monthly state of the deck where all the deck leaders come together in a neutral ground and everyone kind of discusses what the state of the deck is for that month. What do you think about this?
What do you mean by state of the DAC?
So
just like the landscape in general?
Yeah,
all the
landscape in general. So if there's like when the game is launched and there's like wars or peace or trading to be done, similar to how the UMA is doing it. I guess the UMA as well would be kind of the state of the DAC where people come and talk about guilds in general, if there's beef had between someone, that sort of stuff.
Okay, so maybe just a little bit more universal, like you don't have to be a part of, you don't have to be subscribed to it. I'm not sure exactly what the structure of the UMA is, but yeah, I think that would be a really invaluable resource, a place for all of us to hang out and get to know each other.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea. All right, all good. Thank you, man. I'll reach out to you later. We'll have a chat afterwards as well. We'll get back to the Don Kane and Jack. And feel free to step down when you want, mate. Okay, so we've talked about the actual research paper that you guys have done here, which is awesome. Can we talk about the Atlessio family art? And I think this is where Jack comes in. This is your forte, Jack. So, can you lead the way, please?
Okay, so before I was made, we were looking at. I was talking to Don about different sort of aspects on how I could best contribute to the family, because it was made pretty clear to Don straight away that I wanted in and I wanted to be fully involved and I wanted to be made and so forth. So I've got a pretty vast and confusing sort of background. I've touched on pretty much everything. I mean, to let you guys know, I'm 50 years old, so I'm practically decrepit old fuck when it comes to being gamers these days. But I mean, I've been playing games since the Commodore 64, if anybody can remember what that was. So
I've heard of it.
So I've had a lot of experience. I mean, I spent 12 years in the Royal Australian Navy. I've been a computer programmer. I've been an actor. I've owned my own theatre companies.
Oh, fuck.
There's a lot of things that I've done, training, management in various aspects and various roles. So, but during one lull in sort of my life, I did an advanced diploma in 3D games development. Now, when I did that, NFTs just didn't exist. They weren't around. And we was talking to Don. I was talking to Don, and we was just sort of having a back and forth. And he mentioned something about the next phase of what he wanted, which was this Atlessio art. And I hadn't told him this, and I said, "Look, mate, I've got this diploma in 3D art in games. Is that going to help?" And it was just like, "Fuck yes." That's just
But yes.
skyrocketed us like 5 steps ahead of where we were, because we were going to have to track down or outsource or license art and things like that. So that's where that came in. And basically we've been chatting about what we wanted, how we go about it, what road we want to go down, and the biggest challenge for me was to calm the fuck down everybody, because once it was like, all right, we've now got this 3D artist, right, we can do this, we can do that, let's do this, let's do that, and it changed like every day on the Discord chat that we set up. It was just this idea and this idea, and I had to basically say, fellas,
Calm down.
calm the fuck down. Let's do this one step at a time, because I'm creating shit, and all of a sudden you're changing it on an hourly basis. So let's just decide. So, but it was really exciting for me, because I never thought in my wildest dreams, because when I did the diploma, it was all about games. I was going to create assets and characters and things for 3D games. That never eventuated, because I then got employed somewhere else, and sort of just went on the back burner. So when the Don said, "Look, this is what we're going to do," happy, thrilled that you want to do this. It was a case of me. It was like, fuck, all right, I better reinstall all the software. I better buy myself a graphics tablet again. I sold that. It was a case of, right, let's get stuck into it. So it's been awesome, because I sort of let that go, and especially with COVID, for 2 years, COVID, it sucked any enthusiasm out of fucking everybody to do anything, even the things that they really love doing. For me, it was art. For me, it was games. I just had no motivation and no enthusiasm to do anything at all. So this was both helpful for the family and myself, because it was like, all right, now I've got focus. Now I've got something to do, and I'm really fucking excited to do it. So.
Yeah, awesome, man. That sounds like the first thing you said, all of your experience behind it. This is I think is invaluable, because you have so much more experience that you can take advantage of every other guy that comes in here, buys a $20 ship, and doesn't know what to do with it. And at least you have a business structured mind behind it.
Well, I mean, that's precisely the thing. And when Star Atlas came out, and these are the conversations I had with Don before we even looked at the art side of things. People were like, do I buy ships? Do I buy Atlas? Do I buy Polis? Do I go for the governance? And I'm like, just fucking hang on, guys. The game's not even out. Just, before you go and make any major fucking decisions about anything, let's just structure what we want as a whole before we start making those decisions. And these guys, were coming in and, Polis is going to rise, and, we need to get involved in the governance. And it's like, oh, well, hang on a minute. We don't even have the mini game yet. All of a sudden you want to rule the Star Atlas galaxy by loading up on Polis. There's nothing to fucking govern yet. So just ease up.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. Thanks for giving us a brief overview of your history. I think it's super important, and people don't realize that the metaverse is filled with all these people that have tons more experience than you. So I'm very happy to have met you, Jack. We'll get back to the art. So I know this is dynamic. It's going to change maybe every day, every week, once you guys actually think of the overarching. I don't know if my mic was on just then. Once you guys think of,
yeah. So for a second.
Yeah. So I know this is changing every day, every week. It's all a work in progress. But specifically about the art, so I want to make a few clarifications. You will be making NFTs. That's the first thing, correct? Yeah.
Indeed. Yes. So we're going to look like it's going to appear that we are an NFT project, right? Like all of these projects that are on Discord and the way that they're marketing themselves, we're going to appear like that. But you read our white paper and you're going to know that we're much, much more than just an NFT project.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Jack and Don, I'm going to give you some quick fire questions on these NFTs. And feel free, if this isn't solidified yet, if it's not concrete, if it's not public, that's fine. Just let us know. So you're going to be releasing NFTs. Obviously, they're going to be Mafia-themed NFTs.
Of course.
Correct.
Okay. Do you know what the underlying utility of the NFTs are going to be?
So this is something that we're working out right now. We still need to structure the business on the back end to make sure we're paying taxes and all that stuff. But we're considering because right now delving into the research before I do anything. Right now I'm basically going through and I'm auditing every NFT project I come across, right? I want to know how they did it. I want to know how they're doing it. I want to know what incentives they're giving. I want to know, what's the supply? What was the pricing mechanism? How do they keep community engagement? What are they doing after the fact? Are they doing a second release? Are they doing a third release? I'm looking at everything, right? And there's actually, I called him out before. Achilles, he's in the audience right now. He's one of the instrumental research analysts that we have right now. And he's looking into that. We're looking into that. We're just trying to figure out everything that we can about these NFT projects because we want to do it right. Right? There's a really good chance that we fail, but I think that the Mafia lore and the Mafia theme is really enticing to a lot of people, and there's not really any big Mafia NFT producers, and so I think that we're going to be set up really well.
Fucking yes, research is key. Like the more information you have, the more advantage you have. Awesome. I wonder if anyone else has any questions for the Atlessio family, Don Kane or Jack Stone. Just put it in the live questions and we'll get to it very soon. So Jack, you're going to be making these NFTs and you have like a history background in kind of graphic design and design in general. How confident are you? Like these are going to be amazing pieces of artwork with Mafia. Are you going to draw any inspiration from popular, influential kind of Mafia figures, like Capone?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing with the Mafia is, I know that the Mafia in such has a. The immediate thing that people go to is The Godfather. Okay, so it's the Italian Mafia, but what we're trying to aim to do is include a lot of other organized crime syndicates, as it were, that aren't necessarily the Italian Mafia. I mean, you're looking at you're looking at the Irish gangsters. You're looking at English gangsters. Peaky Blinders type of thing.
Oh so, yeah, man, I would buy one if it was a Peaky Blinders. I love that show.
You got the Yakuza, you got Korean Kangpai. Like we're doing multicultural.
Oh, you got I didn't even think about that. I'm just thinking like American style gangsters, but there's whole other countries with their form of gangsters. Holy shit!
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose that's where I suppose we need to come up with maybe not use the term mafia all the time, because the immediate response is Godfather. It's Italian mafia. So so we're aiming to capitalize on all of that. So so I'm able to pull inspiration from lots and lots of different places. I mean, obviously we're going to have an initial run, and it will be a specific thing. But after that, when we branch out, it will be definitely branched out in multicultural, mafias.
Awesome. That sounds awesome, man. And I've got a question from Barndog here just in the chat. He says, Jack, where are you based in Aussie land, mate?
I'm in Melbourne, mate.
Melbourne. And Jack, do you have a Twitter or any other social media links that we can share with us? I'll put it on the YouTube. I'll put it on the screen as well, so everyone else can find out.
I do actually. It's
like
just,
it.
I think my Twitter. Well, I'm barely on there, to be honest. Twitter is Jackstone007, I think.
Well, let's find it.
To be honest,
let's find it.
Yeah, at Jackstone007.
John Jenkins.
That's the one.
All right, we got him in. We got him in the chat, guys. Go have a look at him. I'm going to follow you now.
Yeah, there's not much on there. So, I mean, until I got involved in the Atlessio family, it was my background with crypto and such is only probably 6 to 8 months. I think I bought Bitcoin when it reached its first all-time high of about 60,000, because I jumped on the bandwagon, and within a day it dropped down to its all-time low. So that was my introduction to crypto.
That's don't worry, everyone goes through this. Everyone has experience, and then you stay for a little while.
Yeah. So, but it didn't dissuade me, so I kept on going. So, but I'm involved in a lot of different crypto, a lot of different crypto games. I like to sort of keep an eye on what's going out there. But and Star Atlas for me was mind blowing in its in its story, in its promises. It's yet to deliver at least a small percentage of that for me yet. And that's where the Atlessio family, kept me going with that, because it's more about the metaverse as such, and not focusing on a sole aspect of it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I'm just on your website now for people at home to see it, and we see some of your kind of works before. So really nice diner, by the way. That could be like the Atlessio family diner in the metaverse. And you can only get it if you go to these if you have these Atlessio family NFTs.
That's actually that was created in Unity, actually, so it can you can actually walk through it. So it's for those who just still shots. But that took a fair bit of time. But
yeah, awesome, man. All right, so I guess we should probably move on. We've talked a little bit about you guys. We've talked about your NFTs. We've talked about other guilds in general. We've taken some questions. So let's talk about Star Atlas. So we know that the score and ship missions have been delayed slightly. I personally think it's going to be delayed a bit further, perhaps till January, because I watched a YouTube interview about 2 days ago, fresh off the boat. And his verbiage was pretty bad, and it didn't sound like we're going to get anything in December. I'm going to try and find this, and I'll link this for everyone in the chat below. But what do you guys think at the moment? What's happening with Star Atlas?
Now, was this a team member that did a YouTube, or?
No, this was I think it was the Brazilian guild, the DAC. Sorry, I think this was the Brazilian DAC with Michael Wagner talking one-on-one interview with like 100 Brazilian people listening. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what do you guys, Jack, what do you think is happening with Star Atlas at the moment? Are they delivering? Are they going to be on time? What do you think? Ship sales, ship pricing going down?
I think there's a lot of discontent in the community at the moment. I mean, to me, what they've delivered so far is simply people spending money. And when you get involved in a project where there's a lot of talk, and you read the economics paper, you read the white paper, and you can see the vision, you can see the future that they've got. And since their outset, this mini game has been, we'll develop this first, because we all know that the full game is going to be years away, and we all accept that. And we want a little bit of something in between that. It's just a little sampler, and this mini game was it. And it's been delayed, and it's just, it's kind of like talking for the Australian people out there, these lockdowns that we had. We went into a 3-day lockdown that lasted 4 months. It just kept pushed back, and people get pissed.
Yep.
So when you're offered, they dangling this carrot of a mini game in front of us, and they continually push it back, yet they're continually bringing out new ships for us to part with our money. So it's like, well, hey, we haven't got anything, but here's a new ship that'll cost you this. So at the moment, people are just accumulating Atlas, Polis, and NFTs for no reason whatsoever. There is zero functionality. There's zero use cases for it. And people are starting to get a little bit worried. And especially now, what's happened is this mini game has been built up so massively in people's heads that when it comes out, if it's not something, a little bit special, there's going to be a lot of fucking backlash. If it comes out to be an Alien Worlds, click this button, mine, and that's it. There's going to be a lot of massive discontented people out there.
Yeah, I agree with you there, man. Because especially, you think we're in the bull market. If you didn't spend, your 2K USD on the ship, and you actually were in one of these tokens, you could have increased your position a lot higher, and bought the ship for pennies.
Absolutely.
And the dangling, continuous dangling. For me, I expect this dangling to keep going forward, because these things take a lot of time. They have to build these smart contracts, then get it audited before it's released. And there's so much. I'm not a dev, but there's so much going on behind the scenes. And of course, COVID doesn't help as well. Don, what do you think is happening at the moment with SA?
Yeah, I think that 4 to 6 weeks, right? I think we keep hearing 4 to 6 weeks, but I think the development of this mini game, and I've heard that there's going to be something it's going to or the what's the word I'm looking for, the inspiration for the mini game is a game called O Game. That's
really?
That's what I've heard.
I gotta find that.
I don't know. Yeah. And I don't think here's what I really wish is I really wish that there was more transparency about what the minigame is, because we have a lot of people in our community, and I'm sure there's probably thousands, if not tens and hundreds of thousands of people that think that this minigame is going to be like an actual represent, like, almost, they probably think it's going to be a 2D version, right? They probably think it's going to be like where you can fly your ship around the space and all that, which I don't think any of that's going to happen. I think it's going to be more akin to like a Farmville almost, kind of where you're staking your ships and all of that type stuff. But I mean, here's the thing: is it's testament to how early we are in the metaverse, right? And should Star Atlas Star Atlas is the ultimate hype team, right? They're hyping everyone up for the metaverse,
Yep.
and I just think that we need to manage our expectations, and realize that this could be really, really, really big one day. But one day is far away. It's not tomorrow. It's not this year. And so we'll see what happens. But I do want to say that, and I think you're going to see, especially if the minigame keeps getting delayed, you're going to see a lot of guilds, us included, who are going to come out and say that they're multiverse, right? Because the whole idea of the DAC is community centric, right? It's getting
Yep.
people together to play games so that they can use this as a primary source of income, and we're going to go where the money is, right? So if Star Atlas fails, those that are only positioned in just Star Atlas, they aren't just going to shut down shop. They're going to move over to a metaverse that is successful.
Yeah, and we all know that the gaming is just starting to blow up. You can see from the gaming section on the CoinGecko category and the metaverse section, all of these other ones are starting to come up. It's crazy. So I think, yeah, capital will fly if they feel like they're not providing what they're supposed to be providing.
I've seen a couple of the screenshots for Score, and it's very reminiscent to me. I'm heavily involved in another game as well called Crypto Mines, and it's very, very similar. Their Score is very similar to what this is, where it's building fleets, it's hiring workers, it's contracting the workers, buying fuel, exploring planets, this type of stuff, and it seems very similar to that.
Yeah, I was discussing with Barndog in a previous show before that there's been an increase in the amount of either copycat or space-themed kind of metaverse games coming out. And the one you're thinking of, I think I saw as well. I did a bit of research. I might have been on BSE, I'm not sure, and it had a pool on PancakeSwap. But I have, because I do a bit of research on some games with Barndog, and I can see the amount of star-themed and sci-fi themed and metaverse play-to-earn games going all the way up. But man, geez, I am worried about the capital flight out of Star Atlas, but hey, if the vision does come together, then we are the earliest ones, and we get to extract the value because we took the most amount of risk, and so we deserve the most gain.
Absolutely, and I think those people who got involved, like us, so early in this, we expect it's going to be a long-term thing. We knew that from the outset. When we read the paper, we knew. They didn't come out and say, "Look, the game's going to be ready next year." They were honest in the fact that they said it's going to be a few years before it comes out, and we accepted that. And their vision is such that we're just very, very excited about it. My only issue was with the carrot that was dangled with a mini game that since I joined up. It's always been, it's going to be next week, it's going to be next week, it's going to be next week, and it's never happening. That's my only issue.
Yeah, I fully feel it there. And as a community member, I make Star Atlas videos myself, and every video I'm like, oh no, it's not a video about the minigame yet. Oh no, it's not this week. Oh no, it's not this week. Oh man, it's disappointing sometimes. But anyway, so we'll start thinking about wrapping up. We've been going for 56 minutes now. I know time flies when you're just discussing something you like and you're really involved in. We've got a few community questions.
We're just bagging Rome's 2-hour videos.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we do have some community questions. People have raised their hands. So guys, I'm going to invite you to stage one at a time. Please make your questions succinct so we can start thinking about wrapping this up. Time is important to everyone. So Walking Feather, you've raised your hand. You see a green bar above your screen. Come up if you have a question for the Atlessio family. Followed by Ronan, you also have your hand up. You're invited to speak. And Doom, Final Frontier. Oh, Final Frontier. Hey, man. All right, so Ronan, you're up here. You got a question for these guys?
I don't really have so much a question as more to relay some like basic information related to the minigame itself and everything like that. I agree 100% with Dan. So in regards to the minigame itself and everything like that, it will only be a staking method. So we will not be able to physically, for instance, maybe say pilot through a space or anything of that sort. You will actually like just physically see a overlay of all of your ships and everything like that, and be able to commit your ships to a contract. And then, that contract being the faction itself and everything like that. And then through that, you would start earning Atlas. Obviously, the minigame has been delayed. And I do agree, it is a dangling carrot and everything like that. But in honest opinion, I don't think they're going to delay on the next one that's coming up. Not with all of the quick amounts of progress that they've basically had done, because as we've seen more so recently within their Twitter and all of their posting elsewhere and so on, they've been engaging more with the community in saying, here's this, in order for them to be offering more of a basically an incentive or a progression for people to notice within the mini game itself and so on. So I definitely think we will have it. It has been a little bit of a dangle and everything like that, but in all honesty, I think it's been a dangle for our own benefit, because in order to assure UI interfaces working properly, contracts are properly set up, we don't lose any Atlas throughout the entire procedure of everything going on and so on. But otherwise, just generally, I just 100% agree with Dan. We are in a phase where it is a committed like AAA game and everything like that. So it's definitely going to be somewhere very, very far down the line. We may only see maybe some gameplay or mini gameplay, say March or May's time when land actually comes in.
Yep.
So, I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see till then, basically.
Yeah, I think people underestimate how long this is going to be taking to build. And yeah, people don't specifically know what is coming out when. So it's a good thing they released the timeline.
Exactly.
Yeah, you guys have any thoughts to what Ronan's saying?
No, I totally agree. And look, if I was under the impression it was going to be a staking game anyway, the mini game. So that's exactly what I was expecting. But the thing of it is, I mean, I know, being an old computer programmer myself, I know how long programs take, the processes that have got to go through. But when I was programming, we had deadlines, and we had to meet those deadlines. If they were given out, release dates and not sticking to it, if this was a regular business and these were contracting for people, they would have fired them and gone somewhere else. You can't just keep putting something back and releasing something that's going to cost us money at the same time. So that is just the issue that I was facing.
I do agree 100%. But what you also need to understand is that we're, because I'm also a developer and everything, what you need to understand is that we're in a different era compared to the normal programming method, where you could learn everything almost online when it comes to forms of programming. But when it comes to these newer blockchains and so on, they're on the very front of understanding and figuring out all of these contracts and everything like that. And as such and so on, it makes it very difficult in order to achieve sometimes those deadlines, as well as hiring auditors. It's probably one of the most challenging things to be able to hire auditors, because they're so sought after now, because it's such a big thing now. Every DAO wants their contracts audited, and it's part of regulations to get it audited and so on. So that's also a thing that you have to take into account and so on. I'm not saying to defend it in any way or anything like that, but it's just like there's a whole bunch of things to think of when you come to, especially blockchain orientated games nowadays. Everything has to be audited now, which is it's wonderful because it's for our own protection, but it's just such a lengthy process.
Yeah, for sure. And I have zero experience in programming blockchain, so I have no experience there whatsoever. So
yeah, cutting edge technology, there's not many people that can audit on Rust in the first place, so it makes it even that much more difficult. All right, Ronan, thank you very much, mate, for coming up. We'll head on to Doom and Walking Feather. If you guys got any questions, now's the time.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hey, mate, what's up?
Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Yeah, all good. Hey Don, hey Jack. I've been following Don for a while on Twitter, and it was an honor hearing him, his ideas, and his motivations behind the Atlessio family. I just wanted to say that after a while, when I get in touch with other DAOs, I realize more and more each day the motivation behind the UMO. And I'm very happy to have such an inspiring guys beside us to actually go forward in the Star Atlas universe. I'm going to enjoy having you guys around, and I just had a quick question. Like, I wanted to know your ideas on the Unreal Tournament, Unreal Engine version, since we all know that Unreal Engine 5 is in a demo. Actually, it's not a fully developed engine. So how is it going to be? What you guys think of that? Actually, Star Atlas is building it on a trimmer version. It's not a full version, and it's got at least 1 or 2 years to fully develop. I just wanted to know your ideas on that as well. Thank you.
Don?
So just
Well, mate?
just to ask, or just to reiterate the question, you're asking our ideas on what we think the Unreal Engine version of Star Atlas is going to look like.
Yeah, what is it going to look like? And I really don't think it's going to be out for the next year. Maybe it's going to be around 2 years, because even Unreal Engine is not fully developed yet.
Yeah, I think the Unreal Engine of version of the game is what it's what we all want to see. It's what we're all getting excited about. But it's definitely going to take a while, and I think right now what they're estimating that the full final game, or not final game, but like the main modules are all going to be released in 2025, I believe. And so we got a long way to go. And here's the thing: is I'm totally happy. The business model of everything we want to do is going to work with the minigame. However, there's going to be a lot of nuances and a lot of complexities, and a lot of the different things that we eventually want to do aren't going to be able to be done until we do have that Unreal Engine. But they're taking inspiration. I'm sure they're taking inspiration from a bunch of other different space adventure, exploration, grand strategy games. And I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
And Jack?
Yeah, Unreal Engine, 5 still hasn't been, fully developed yet. So, we've all seen, what it's capable of. And I suppose the beauty of Unreal Engine 5 is that a lot of people are going to be able to play this browser-based, or they're going to be able to play it low-end PCs and still be having the full graphic capabilities because of their new ways of doing things. Their nanites, for example, allows you to have millions of polygons. The issue with 3D art as such is you're usually limited to the amount of polygons you can have on screen at any one time. With Unreal Engine 5, this basically just throws it out the window. You can have cinema quality assets, characters, environments, and it runs perfect on your low end machine. So what they're planning with it is going to be fantastic. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be something like no one has ever seen before as far as a game is concerned. The addition of the play to earn aspect of it, it will literally, and I'm sure Don's had this thought too, it will literally change people's lives. People will be able to, they will be able to work from home doing what they want to do in the manner they want to do it. Without the pressures of going to the office. So, and I think that's what they're aiming for. But yeah, it's years away yet, and I'm excited to see where it is. I'm not getting any younger, so I hope it does come out soon. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic.
And I'll just add my 2 cents. I know you didn't ask me, but yes, I do agree. It'll take years and years until we see the final game. It will take years and years until we see the final game, but that doesn't stop them from creating assets in Unreal Engine 5 and you completely using those assets.
Awesome, guys. Awesome. Thank you all.
I keep cutting
Yeah,
out. I don't
absolutely.
know why. Okay. All good. All good, man. Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it. Walking Feather, you got a quick question for us? Walking Feather, do you have a question for the Don?
Hello. Yes. And I'm sorry. I am using my wife's Discord, and she just ran into the store, and she's the Discord queen. And I'm trying to figure out how to use this on an iPhone. We're driving around with our dog, picking up pizza on a Friday night, and we're in America, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we're wide fucking awake. Okay, it's only 9:00, guys. It's party
There
time.
you go. There
I
you go.
love,
Anyhow-
love that passion.
Listen, Dawn, this guy.
Yeah, what's up?
No, he's big brain, man. This guy, I'm dark energy on Twitter. Okay.
Oh, okay,
Illuvium,
yeah.
Illuvium, hey, Illuvium, not. She's barking. Everybody going by. Anyways, I posted a question on Twitter. My concern, because we do this everywhere. We're OG VV NFTs, like Batman, Superman, all that stuff.
Simpsons.
And so we're OG OMI investors. We're now really heavy into Illuvium, and my other thing that I absolutely love is because we have OG groups. In fact, our Illuvium one, we have like out of 50, there's at least 20 that are buying up ships on Paulus, and we're looking for a home. So I was concerned, and I asked, but that alliance, I'm sorry, you guys know the name, but the big alliance thing. And I had a question about how ethical it will be run. And the dude fucking blocked me. Okay, so that's that. This guy, Dawn, okay, Final Frontier head guy follows me, and the Dawn reached out personally to me in DMs, and I have the highest respect and just redeemed the whole deck idea of DAX and everything. I mean, this is the 90-20 role. This guy does everything. I'm just so amazed, and I definitely agree with having a state of the deck. I think that's a great idea. We would definitely follow. Again, my wife does the Discord. I do the Twitter, but my wife's she's like a queen on Facebook. She's got 260,000 followers and all that stuff. Lastly, and I know I'm just rapid firing here, but it's just enjoyable listening to this. From our experience, and we're an old fart like this Jack Stone dude. I mean, like, how about Atari 2600, brother? Atari 2600, not just C64, Atari. And I'm not talking about the type you plug into your TV you get at Walmart. Anyhow, but Vivi, Ecomi, and Illuvium, they all we have AMAs with like over 1,000 people, just like Star Atlas. Illuvium, the co-founder, liked and retweeted and congratulated Star Atlas for the new trailer. They all know each other, and they're all really cordial. But they also have in common delays. I think they're almost like hate to say it, too big to fail thing. I think they're so out there, so doxed, and that you have realistic expectations that it's going to take years. Illuvium just delayed again till the end of first quarter next year. They delayed their mini game for their land that's supposed to come out this month to next month, and everybody accepts it. We're all cool and stuff. And Omi is forever 6 to 8 weeks, and soon. In fact, they just last AMA, they hashtag soon. They're going to copyright it. And like for 8 fucking months, we've been waiting for things just like improved cameras, okay, on the phone. So when you look at Paulus and Atlas, which is the equivalent of Illuvium's ILV and SILV in-game token, I mean, I am bagging up Paulus because I'm looking at it so early, like as if you bought Illuvium 4 months ago at $60, and right now it's $1,100. So that's my 2 cents. While my poor wife isn't here, she wanted to say hi and everything, but it's just a pleasure to listen to Dawn talking, and we're going to join a guild, a deck here really soon, and I really appreciate this podcast. So just hi from her, and that's our 2 cents. and then I'll try to figure out how the fuck to leave.
All good, man. Thank you very much for coming up. You know, it's thank you very much for your thoughts as well on the state of the deck. It's just a work in progress at the moment. We don't know if it'll eventualize. If it does, all good. But yes,
enjoy the pizza.
Yeah, man. Enjoy the pizza. Have a good.
Dark Energy. He had reached out to me on Twitter because he had some concerns about basically, what isn't this just like a replication of legacy institutions like the UN, which is clearly very, very corrupt in certain ways. And I thought that was a great concern. I thought that was something that I've stressed to everyone in the UMA meetings is, we got to make sure that this doesn't become the UN, right? It's like we can use the UN as an illusion for what we want to build, but we also need to put a lot of energy and effort into making sure that this thing doesn't become corrupt. Because in these metaverse games, there's going to be a lot of capital flowing through it, millions and potentially billions one day, right? And we got to make sure that we automate and we use blockchain for everything that we can, and like I've said multiple times before in this in a Grape AMA is we got to figure out how to innovate these DAOs, right? They're very, very early. They're very they're in their infancy, and we need more political theory behind it. We need to make it more robust. But yeah, I really appreciate the kind words, Dark NRG, and hey, the Atlessio family is open, and if you want to join us, then come along.
Yeah, a little plug right there. Speaking of which, if you want to join the Atlessio family, I have them on their website right now, atlas.io. You can find them on Discord. You can find them on Twitter, which we're looking at right now. And I think, being mindful of time, guys, we're going to wrap it up. We're already hitting the 1 hour 15 mark. I don't want to get up to the Metaverse Nomad time frame. No way. Before we wrap it up, you guys have the floor. Don Kane, Jack Stone. Anything you want to let anyone watching on YouTube to know? Anything about Star Atlas citizens? Anything at all? Let's go.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take it away. Pretty much the way that I think the world is going is I think that so many of us are struggling to find meaning and purpose. And I've mentioned this to a lot of my my friends, and they agree, right? It's like what is our meaning and purpose? Like, why do we wake up and go to work every day? And I think that for me, what gives me meaning and purpose, why I can wake up every single day, full of energy is blockchain, right? I think that blockchain and the applications that are built on top are going to be eventually responsible for trustless civilizations, right? What I mean by that is basically the eradication of corruption, collusion, and abuse, right? Our institutions globally are blood soaked, right? There's so much corruption and collusion and abuse of people globally, of billions of people. And I think that blockchain is a solution. And so I know that every single day I'm going to wake up and, even though I can't code in Solidity or Rust, what I can do is I can run a Mafia guild, right? And hopefully what I can do there is inspire people to join and, build an application on top of, a metaverse that, hopefully that inspires people to take the leap, right? People to come into the blockchain realm and help it become, more robust, because that's what it takes, right? The widespread blockchain adoption is how we're going to take down these institutions, or at the very least cleanse them, right? Because they're gonna have to deal with us.
Right on, man. As Michael Wagner and Santi would say, power to the people.
Stick it to the man.
Stick it to the man. Jack, mate, you got any last words for us?
Look, I suppose one of my last words would be if you're even considering getting into a guild, whether it's for Star Atlas or whether it's for anything else, I think get involved. It was one of the best things I did because, look, as multifaceted as my past was with various things, finding a job in something that you really want to do is very, very difficult. There's always competition. There's always people, ahead of you. There's always the right person in the right place at the right time. With the guilds, the offerings are vast. If you think you're probably good at something, get involved in a guild, and they'll probably be able to use you in that. And you'll find that you'll actually be doing something that you want to do for a change. Yeah, you might still work in the job for a while until you get the the funds and the capital to give that away and do what you love permanently. But it will give you that impetus to do it. Yeah, don't give up. Follow your dreams, people.
Sounds awesome, man.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Okay, that wraps up this interview with the Atlessio family from Star Atlas. They are a decentralized autonomous corporation. I am the Metaverse Explorer. We've been talking with the Don Kane, the Mafia boss of the Atlessio family, and Jack Stone, about to release the new Atlessio Mafia family artworks. Thank you very much for coming on, guys. Appreciate your time. I look forward to meeting you in the Star Atlas metaverse, where I'm going to blast you out of space and take your NFTs from you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Bring it on.
Thanks for having us on.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure, Jack. Don, thank you very much for coming on, guys. See you if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. I know it's been a long interview, but we've been having really great discussions about Star Atlas here. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want. I'm going to be doing more Star Atlas content, and if you didn't know, I'm going to be a part-time Star Atlas streamer, so I will see you in the metaverse. Ciao, Don, Jack. See you later.
See you, man.
See you later, man.
All good. Ciao, guys.